Have you ever found yourself staring at your phone, heart heavy, wondering if she'll ever reach out? That tiny voice in the back of your mind keeps whispering, "What if?" You scroll through old pictures, replay conversations, and imagine the words you should have said differently. You're not just missing her presence, you're missing the way she made you feel. The warmth, the excitement, the sense that you were wanted and understood. And here's the thing most men don't realize. Whether she comes back or not isn't something you can control. You could spend months analyzing her every move, tracking her posts on social media, or overthinking every word she said, and still, the answer might never come. Living in that waiting room of uncertainty keeps you trapped. It's like being a bird staring out of a cage, too afraid to fly. Every minute spent waiting, hoping, or replaying the past is a minute stolen from the life you could be building right now. You are giving your energy away to someone who isn't even present, and that is a drain no one can afford. The first step to breaking free is simple, but it's powerful. Stop giving power to the unknown. Waiting for her is like standing at a train station for a train that may never arrive. You check the clock, stare at the tracks, and hope for movement. But every day you do this, you waste another day of your life. That energy, the time, the focus, the emotional intensity, you must take it back. Redirect it to something certain. Redirect it to yourself. The question is not, will she return? The real question is, how can I reclaim my power today? That shift alone is revolutionary. It frees you from the invisible chains of waiting and shifts the balance back into your hands. When you decide that your peace, your happiness, and your growth are no longer negotiable, you begin to step into a version of yourself that no one, not even her, can shake. It isn't easy. The urge to check, to reach out, to seek answers will always be there. That's natural. But the difference between men who remain stuck and men who move forward is the ability to resist that pull. Each time you resist, each time you let silence and self-focus replace anxiety and overthinking, you strengthen yourself. You are telling yourself, I am more important than the uncertainty of someone else's actions. And here's the subtle but transformative truth. As you step fully into yourself, your life begins to shift in ways you cannot yet imagine. Doors open, opportunities appear, and suddenly, the world isn't about her anymore. It's about you. You may still think about her. But the difference now is that those thoughts no longer control you. You are no longer a passenger on her train. You are the conductor of your own life. You stop letting her choices dictate your emotions. You stop giving away your peace. You are reclaiming what is rightfully yours. Your focus, your power, your life. And that, more than anything else, is the foundation for everything that follows. Because when you truly take your energy back and live in certainty, you become untouchable. You become unstoppable. Most men break when they're ignored. They crumble, sending one more text, making one more call, or offering yet another explanation, hoping it will fix everything. They mistake effort for strength, not realizing that chasing someone who has stepped away only drains their energy and diminishes their power. True strength doesn't beg. True strength doesn't explain. True strength is silence. Silence is the unshakable statement that says, I value myself too much to chase what should have been freely given. Silence communicates confidence, dignity, and self-respect louder than words ever could. It's the refusal to compromise your own worth in the hopes of getting someone else's approval. Silence isn't just a message to her, it's a message to you. It teaches patience and discipline. It forces you to sit with your own emotions, to feel them without letting them control your actions. Most men run from discomfort, from the ache of longing or rejection, but silence forces you to confront it. In that confrontation, you start to understand yourself in ways that chasing never allows. You begin to realize that your happiness and your value aren't dependent on someone else's presence or attention. Each day you practice silence. Each day you resist the urge to reach out. You reclaim a small but powerful piece of your independence. There's a misconception that silence is passive. It means doing nothing. But nothing could be further from the truth. Silence is deliberate. Silence is conscious. It's a strategy. It's an invisible shield that protects your peace while also creating a magnetic effect that you cannot manufacture with words or gestures. By stepping back and refusing to chase, you give yourself time to rebuild, to grow, and to see the bigger picture. You stop reacting to her and start acting for yourself. Every moment spent in this quiet, deliberate stillness strengthens your resolve, sharpens your mind, and deepens your character. In silence, you learn to master your impulses. You learn to separate emotion from action. You start noticing the patterns of your thoughts, the triggers that once made you feel powerless, and the areas where you gave away too much of yourself. By observing without reacting, you reclaim control. You become aware that true power is not in proving yourself to someone else, it is improving yourself to you. And as you embrace this, something subtle but profound happens. Your confidence grows. Your presence becomes more magnetic. And the very thing you once thought you needed from her validation becomes irrelevant. When you embrace silence, you also embrace self-respect. You communicate that you are not a man to be swayed by inconsistency or neglect. You become a man whose energy is precious, whose time is valuable, and whose attention is not for anyone to take lightly. And the paradox is this: the more you step back, the more you grow. The more your presence starts to resonate without a single word. Silence is not emptiness. It is power in its purest form. And once you fully understand and embrace that, nothing, not her absence, not her choices, not her silence can shake you. If she left, it means she saw you at a certain level, maybe not fully in your power, maybe not fully evolved, maybe not the man you're capable of becoming. That version of you gave too much, compromised to isolate, or allowed uncertainty to dictate your actions. That's okay, because that was the past version of you. The truth is, you are clay, and clay can be reshaped. You can redefine yourself, rebuild yourself, create a version of yourself that no one, including her, can ignore or forget. This isn't about revenge. It's not about proving anything to her. It's about evolution. Your evolution, start with the basics. Sharpen your appearance, not for anyone else, but for the man staring back in the mirror. When you look at yourself and feel pride, it creates a foundation of confidence that radiates in every interaction. Strengthen your discipline. Build routines that challenge you physically, mentally, and emotionally. Every push-up, every early morning, every commitment you keep to yourself is a brick in the structure of a new, unshakable man. Create a life so fulfilling, so rich with purpose, that the thought of her or her absence doesn't define your day or your emotions. The man she left behind is gone, and he will never return. The new man is rising. Rebuilding yourself also means facing uncomfortable truths about your past behavior. Reflect on where you gave too much, where you let fear drive your decisions, and where you relied on external validation to feel worthy. Awareness is the first step to transformation. Once you see these patterns, you can dismantle them, placing self-doubt with self-reliance, insecurity with self-respect, and dependency with independence. Growth is not linear. There will be days when old habits creep back in, when loneliness challenges your resolve, or when the urge to reach out feels overwhelming. That's natural. The difference now is that you recognize it and choose differently. Another crucial part of rebuilding is creating a life so full of passion and purpose that your happiness is no longer tied to anyone else. Find what drives you, what excites you, what challenges you to be better every single day. Maybe it's building your body, mastering a skill, growing a business, traveling to places you've never been, or diving into creative pursuits. Whatever it is, let it become yours and yours alone. When your life is full, vibrant, and self-sustaining, the pull of the past loses its grip. This process isn't fast. It isn't easy. It demands patience, persistence, and courage. But as you commit to this transformation, the change becomes undeniable. You will feel stronger, more confident, and more magnetic, not because of her attention, but because you are finally living as the man you were meant to be. When she sees you again, if she even does, she will not recognize the man she left behind. And more importantly, you won't recognize him either, because he is gone, replaced by a version of yourself that no one, no situation, and no relationship can shake. This is the power of rebuilding. This is the evolution that sets you free. Emotional detachment is one of the most misunderstood concepts for men who have been left behind. Many hear the word detach and immediately assume it means shutting down, becoming cold, or pretending they never cared. That's not detachment. That's denial. And denial never leads to freedom. True detachment is entirely different. It's the ability to say, yes, I loved her. Yes, I wanted her. But no, I don't need her to complete me. Detachment is freedom. It's the liberation that comes from accepting what was, letting go of what isn't, and refusing to allow your emotions to chain you to someone who no longer serves your growth. It doesn't erase your past feelings, but it prevents them from dictating your present and your future. Detachment allows you to look at old memories and smile without hesitation. You can recall the good times without longing, the bad times without anger, and the lessons without regret. It's a state of mind where you acknowledge the reality of what happened, the pain of loss, and the love that existed, all while maintaining the ultimate control over your own life. This is when you stop being reactive. You stop allowing her decisions, her absence, or her words to define your emotions. Detachment puts you back in the driver's seat, making you the architect of your own mental and emotional state. One of the most powerful aspects of detachment is the way it transforms your presence in the world. When you are no longer attached to the outcome of someone else's actions, you become magnetic. People are drawn to confidence, stability, and self-possession. Nothing conveys that more than a man who has mastered detachment. You are no longer desperate for validation, because your validation comes from within. You are no longer chasing, because your worth is independent of her attention. You are complete, whole, and untouchable. That is the state every man must reach to achieve true emotional freedom. Detachment also reshapes how you view your story. When you're deep in heartbreak, it feels as though she is the entire book. Every plot twist revolving around her. Every page consumed by memories and what-ifs. But step back, and the truth becomes clear. She is just one chapter. Chapters are meant to end, so the story can move forward. Detachment allows you to close that chapter without fear, without longing, and without hesitation. You understand that your life does not hinge on her, and you begin to write the next chapter with purpose and excitement. Achieving detachment takes practice. It requires patience, self-awareness, and a willingness to sit with discomfort without reacting impulsively. It means choosing your peace over the temporary satisfaction of reaching out, choosing your growth over the illusion of control, and choosing yourself over someone else's unpredictability. When you master this, nothing and no one can control you anymore. Your mind, your energy, and your emotions are yours to command. And that is where true power begins, the kind of power that makes you untouchable, irresistible, and unstoppable, because you are no longer bound to anyone but yourself. Stop chasing closure. It is not something she will hand to you. Many men waste months or even years hoping for an apology, an explanation, or the recognition they think they deserve. She may never admit her mistakes. She may never explain why she pulled away. She may never give you the answers you're searching for. And that is okay. Closure is not something she gives, it is something you create. It is the moment you decide to stop letting the past define your present. It is the moment you choose to take your story into your own hands and start building the future you deserve. True closure comes from within, from a conscious decision to reclaim your life, your peace, and your power. Building a life that excites you is the antidote to longing. Too many men remain stuck after a breakup because they relied on her for excitement, for validation, for purpose. She became the source of their joy, the reason to wake up, the anchor to their emotions. That has to change. Ask yourself what lights you up, what challenges you, what makes you feel alive. Maybe it's building your body into a machine, learning a skill that stretches your mind, traveling somewhere you've never been, or launching a project that ignites your passion. Whatever it is, claim it. Make it yours. Fill your days with purpose and your nights with progress. When your life is so full of your own fire, You stop needing her to be the source of your happiness. You become your own source, and that is real power. As you create this new life, understand the paradox of absence. The less you chase her, the more she feels it. Absence is louder than presence. Silence is heavier than words. When you stop showing up, when you stop proving yourself, she senses the void. She may never admit it, she may never voice it, but her awareness of your absence changes the dynamic. And here's the most important part. Whether she returns or not is no longer relevant. By the time she feels the impact of your silence, you will no longer live for her reaction. You will live for yourself, for your growth, and for your evolution. Your energy will no longer be borrowed from someone else. It will be fully your own. Life is a story, and she is just one chapter. When you immerse yourself in heartbreak, it feels as if the entire book revolves around her. But stepping back, you see clearly. She is a chapter meant to end, so the next one can begin. Don't freeze your story on her page. Keep writing. Keep living. The chapters ahead hold opportunities, people, experiences, and growth that you could not have imagined when you were stuck in the past. This is the power of forward motion. The realization that your story is not over, is just begun. Whether she comes back or not is irrelevant. The real question is whether you will return to your confidence, your power, and your self-worth. The moment you stop waiting for her, you start meeting yourself again. You reclaim your focus, your energy, and your life. The man she left behind no longer exists. In his place stands someone untouchable, unstoppable, and fully alive. Don't wait for her to return. Become the man she could never come back to. Become the man you were always meant to be.